This is Paul at Downeast Creations. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the video. Well, little trouble in paradise, folks. It seems that my old New Holland Model 1725 tractor has a few issues, and it's not cooperating. So I've got this nice shiny new box blade that I want to use on my tractor, and of course I had to remove the backhoe that's been on there for years. That's all I ever really use with the tractor, and my 3-point hitch is not working. The problem is right here. These arms here will not lift up, they just stay down. So I've been looking at all the usual suspects, and I still haven't found a problem yet. The problem may be because I removed the backhoe. I had to change some of the plumbing, so I have to recheck the hydraulic fittings and couplings and whatnot, and I'll double check that first. Usually on a lot of tractors, you'll see right here under the seat they have a knob that comes out, and it's called a flow control knob, and that's how you control the flow on the 3-point hitch. Sometimes that's the problem, because you're adjusting the seat, sometimes you grab the wrong knob. Not the case on this one. It's not easily accessible. It's not something you can reach in and grab with your hand. There is a knob underneath there, but to get to it you have to remove the fenders, and that has never been touched. And this 3-point hitch did work, before when I used my auger, but it hadn't been used for years. Well, there's also a few other things underneath here that I have to check, and well, there are a couple of, right there where those fittings are, there's a couple of things I have to check there too, but I don't think that's the problem. So if I'm not able to pinpoint the problem by going through some of the obvious things and double checking those, then I'll have to remove the ROPS, and I have to remove the seat and the fender assemblies and all this other stuff to get underneath there, and I may have to remove the cylinder assembly that operates the 3-point hitch, and chances are pretty good that the piston seal, it's like a piston ring, it's like a plastic seal that goes on there. On a lot of these New Holland tractors, and actually other models too, I've seen where these seals over time, they just disintegrate, they just break down, and this hasn't been used in so long, there's a good possibility that might happen, but it's semi-major surgery. Well, the problem is now solved. What I found, you can see this this quick couple right here, this connection right there. Normally when I have the backhoe on, that is separated. There are 2 hydraulic hoses that come from the backhoe. One fits on one end of this hose, one fits on the other end of this hose, and when you remove the backhoe you have to put these 2 hoses together to complete the circuit. You just can't leave them apart. And I did put it together, but I did not have the quick couple completely seated, and so there was no flow. It was like they were apart. And now that there's flow through the system, even though the front loader was working, there wasn't anything going supplying the 3-point hitch lift arms, and I just tried it, and now they go up and they go down the way they're supposed to. So that saves me a lot of major surgery, and I'm now a happy camper. The next problem though that I do have to solve, although I don't have to do it right away, you don't see it right now, but this control block, this is for the front loader, and it's also tied in with the rear hydraulics somehow. And the problem is that there's a lot of leakage. Now I cleaned most of the oil off, I sprayed it down with carb cleaner, and I'm not sure exactly where it's coming from. I see a little bit of seepage here and there. I gotta find out. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find a rebuild kit for it, and for that valve assembly, and then rebuild it, and with all new seals, and hopefully that'll take care of the problem. I can only imagine what the cost is going to be though. Well, if it's not one thing, it's another. I found the source of the leak. It was coming from here that you see. I don't know if you can see my finger there. Anyway, that was the leak, and I thought, well, maybe this needs to be tightened up, and I just went to touch it. It came off in my hands, and the top of this bolt, where this little set screw is, it's actually part of the bolt that comes sticking up, and it just broke. It broke right off. It must have vibrated and broke off, and now there's nothing I can do to get that on there tight and keep it from leaking. I'm going to have to take this apart. I'm going to have to find a new part for that. So fortunately, I do have an exploded view, so I can identify with that part what it looks like and see if I can get a replacement. I'm going to have a rebuild kit anyway, but it means I may not be able to use the tractor in the meantime. So I'm going to have to play it by ear, and one step at a time. If it's not one thing, it's another. So that piece that I was pointing to, where that little adjustment nut and the top of the bolt had broken off, I discovered what that is. It's actually the relief valve assembly. It comes as a little module, and I should be able to just take a wrench to it and take it out and pop a new one in if I can find a new one available. And if this is so old where I can't find one that'll fit it, then I suppose I could just replace the whole valve assembly. I think that might be pretty expensive. I'm not sure I want to do that. I guess it's called a double spool valve. So I'll have to look and see what's available. There are a few places online that specialize in hydraulics for tractors and other implements, and one of them is Bailey's Online, and they specialize in hydraulics, and they have all kinds of stuff you can choose from. And there's a couple of others too that I know of. So if I can't get one through New Holland, and then I'll check and see if I can find one through one of those companies. Stay tuned. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to show up on here or not, but when my finger's pointed, that's it. Number 23. And number 23 is the relief valve assembly. So that's what I have to get. I have to get that right there. Well, things keep going from bad to worse. I was able to source a new relief valve for that double spool valve, the relief cartridge, and unfortunately, apparently this particular valve is no longer made, and so parts are limited. It's no longer supported, and so there's only a couple of companies that actually have this particular relief valve, and since there's only a few of them left, the prices have gone way up. They want on the order of around $650 for this little cartridge. Now, when you look at these relief valves for other double spool valves, you can get them anywhere, depending on the brand and the size, anywhere between around $20, $25 to $50, somewhere in there. Some are a little bit more. Some are upwards of around $95. I guess if it's a more sophisticated unit, a different brand. And this particular double spool valve was made by Prince. Well, you can buy a newer Prince double spool valve that comes with the control valve. I mean, not control valve. It comes with the relief valve. You get the whole unit for around $500. But if you look at online, you go to Amazon, look at Trevor, look at there's a whole bunch of different companies out there offering these double spool valves, and there's a huge variety of them. You can get them anywhere from under $100, $75 to $95. Some are a little bit more, $121. I've seen $150, but they're relatively inexpensive, and they come with relief valves, and they're at the same rating as the one on mine. mine, the flow rate for my hydraulic system is 6.6 gallons per minute, and a lot of these are 10 to 11 gallon per minute rated valves, which means they're fine. They'll handle the flow rate of the tractor, no problem. And there are all kinds of double spool valves. Some have a single joystick, some have twin joysticks. But there's such a wide variety, and they come with different numbers of ports, which is interesting to me. I'm trying to find the right number of ports, the same as what I have. I want to be able to plumb it the same way. But also they come with different types of threads. Some are, you know, was it BBS something or other? Is that kind of like a British thread? Some of the ones that are made in China. There are others that come with different threads, different fittings. So I've got to figure out what the fittings are and the sizes in the present one, the present double spool valve. And if I can, I'll just replace the whole entire double spool valve assembly with relief valve, comes all complete, and install it. But that's what I'm looking at now. It's a quagmire. There's so many different variations, and trying to get this stuff figured out. So I'm trying to track down the information I need. I want to contact some of these companies and ask them for assistance to see if they can help me out and get me squared away. I should be able to do this. It might require replacing a number of different fittings because of different thread sizes. The actual cost can go up significantly if I have to get a lot of these different fittings and maybe have some new hoses made up. I don't know. Right now, that's where I'm at. This is, you know, when you have an old tractor, and especially one that was, you know, not made here in the United States, this was made in Japan. All of those compact tractors back then, it didn't matter what brand, could be John Deere, could be New Holland like mine, or any of the other brands, they were all made in Japan. And of course, once they're no longer supporting them, good luck. Good luck trying to find parts. It's easier for me to get parts for an old Ford 8N or 9N tractor than it is to get parts for this New Holland, which is about 24 years old. And these old 8Ns and stuff, they were made back in the 1940s and 50s. I can get parts for those much easier. Go figure. Made in the USA, though. Oh well. Wish me luck. I'll let you know what happens. Thanks for watching. And thank you, patrons. I really appreciate you. More than you know. Thanks again. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate it. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and if you do subscribe, remember to ring that little bell so that you can be notified of any new videos that are released. And thanks again for watching.